What's going on? My name is Amy. Welcome to the channel. I'm a 6 months beginner day trader and I'm on a hot streak. Just gonna say it. 5th green trading day in a row. Before I get into today's trade, a couple quick announcements. One, Amy's Trading Tribe on Telegram. Free to join. We are a growing group. We've got 330 people in there now, I think. We trade live together every morning, usually in the pre-market, roughly like 7 a.m. Eastern. There's people popping in. I myself, I'm usually in there within that first hour or so. Check the link down below if you want to come join us in the description or comments. 2, Amy's Day Trading Resources. Basically, it's a working Google document, free to access. You can get in there, see all the links I've put in for YouTube videos, people I've followed that have helped me learn day trading, specific videos I feel like have really helped technical wise. I've got books in there. I've got one of my favorite videos for mindset, Mark Douglas, which was brought to my attention. It had a broken link that has been fixed. Feel free to comment if you guys ever go in there and there's something not working, just let me know. And you can access that down below in the description and comments. And thirdly, exciting little bit of news, something that I've created to basically help with emotions in trading. And it's called the Emotions Tracker for Traders. And this is going to be, it's a calendar-based PDF downloadable file. I'm just asking $4.99 for it, y'all, if it's of interest of any kind. Link down below. Let me show you what it actually looks like. I've got some sample pages printed out here. Basically, you want to start this up right on June 1st. You've got your first page here with the cool bear bull down here. And we've got the week's summary, thoughts and notes. So it goes by the calendar. And you can see we just, for Sunday, June 1st, we are on, it's a weekend. And then you got your first day to start tracking your trades on. June 2nd, on a Monday, Motions Tracker. So basically you can log in here, your ticker symbol, the price you got in, number of shares you bought, price you got out. And this is something I feel like is really going to help me in my trading. It's something I manually log in this cheap, notebook here, is to actually say, okay, like checking off where am I at before I enter the trade, like emotions wise, fear, greed, anxious, surprise, like let's see what happens, am I pessimistic about the trade, whatever it might be that I'm checking that off. And then in the during part, which you might just, quickly look through while you're in the trade, or if you're like me, you're just like, I gotta focus solely on the trade, I'll come back and check this off. And then after, so you've got the same checklist there. And then there's room down below for you to put some notes under that with some cool graphics here. Okay, and then the next page for each day, you're gonna have a section where you can put what went well, what to improve, and some more notes pages with some more cute graphics there if you guys can see that. But yeah, I wanted something where I could track my trades and it was just, I don't know, it had some color, it was fun. I can just sort of keep track of something that's really important, I feel like, these days. And to me, this is the main reason that I've had this winning streak, is that before jumping into trades, I've been really checking that part of myself. Like, where are my emotions at? And today was very interesting because, here I am with like 4 days behind me. Oh, and by the way, guys, link down below. Like I said, it's just $4.99. You guys can see previews on the link as well if you want to see what it looks like when you go to print it. Okay, so yeah, this morning, I actually signed up for Ross Cameron's $19 trial. So I was watching him live this morning. I think I got on the stream at like 4:05 a.m. and he's already in a trade. And I just kind of sat back and watched for some of the trades this morning that he was taking, because he would call it out and, it's like, he's so fast, like jumping into things. I'm like, whoa, like I'm just pulling it up, I'm looking at it like what's going on. So I just kind of said, okay, like let's just watch and learn, which is kind of what I was absorbing and doing. And there was a couple of stocks I was watching, SPRO, LVWR, both of which were trades that Ross took. And there was a couple of times where I was like kind of getting ready to put orders in. I'm doing my my bracket orders with Thinkorswim. So instead of jumping in with the click of a button like he does and jumping out, I have been basically utilizing the same criteria of Ross's for stock selection. So by that, I mean, we've got his little checklist here. We're looking at stock prices, $2 to $20. These are small cap stocks, right? Low float, under 20 million. We're looking for something that's 5 times normal volume. So it'll go under a category called relative volume. And we are looking for something with news and up 10% on the day. So those are kind of the same criteria I'm following. And I'm, for the most part, often most days trading what he trades, at least one of the stocks that he trades. And I've found it beneficial lately to just go with the flow on my own way of entering and exiting the trades. And I've talked about this in the last few videos of what's been working these last couple of days of, having a green streak. When I say 5 trading days green, this actually goes back to May the 12th, if I'm not mistaken, because there's been holiday, there's been weekends, there's been a couple days where Amy took off, just felt like it, so I did. And yeah, I think this goes all the way to, just double checking, not the 12th, sorry. No, I think it's the 16th was my first, yeah. So this goes back to Friday, May the 16th, where I have been executing my strategy, my way of getting into the trade and utilizing Ross's criteria for stocks, but I've been green every single time I've traded. And each of these days I've only done 1 trade. Because I kind of had this thing like lately, like get in, get green, get out, walk away. I'm still honing in on what I'm doing and it's working. And I want to just keep building those small wins, build confidence, go forth. So back to today, reasons I feel like the motions tracker thing is going to help is it's going to remind me to check that before entering the trade. Today I'm doing it mentally. And I realized there was a couple times where I almost got in these stocks and, Ross is already in, sometimes already out. And I'm just like, let me get going here. It's freaking 4 or 5 a.m. my time and, 7 or 8 his. And I could feel like, emotions kicking in, a little bit of FOMO, a little bit of like, I don't know, like gut checks, and I said, you know what? This doesn't feel right, and if I felt that, I avoided the trade. And there was several times where, I had the order kind of queued up, ready to go. I'm watching the charts, I'm watching level 2, and I'm like, I just am not feeling confident. I just did not feel confident. And every single time, that I felt like that, I canceled the order. I didn't submit it. And I cleared, my slate for anything that I was going to push through. And I just sat back and waited. And I'm like, you know what? I think this is one of the things I noticed today that's like what's working here is I am looking for the A+, the 1 A+ quality stock that just says, pick me, and there was like one other trade before I finally took a trade. And I said, ooh, like I could just feel like tension in my body before I took this trade. And I'm like, do I care too much about this trade? And the answer was yes. And I'm like, we're not going to get into anything when I feel like this, because if you get into a trade when your emotions are running and you feel, the heart was racing. That was one of the key signs I noticed, was like my heart was beating fast. And I'm like, no, this doesn't feel right. So left a lot of things alone this morning. Finally, Ross takes a trade on SGN, which met all the criteria. It was actually one of the lower float stocks that he traded today. Surprisingly, some of the things like SPRO, that had like 40 some million floats. I was kind of surprised he took that trade because that's actually outside of the parameters of what he normally trades and what he says to trade. So at any rate, I think he had just lost a second trade on that, and he was looking at SGN, and I believe, if my memory recall correctly, that he had gotten in and out with a profit of that. And I decided to just keep watching it. And I was like, you know what? A lot of times these moves that we're looking for, these momentum moves, will happen on the half hour or the hour mark. Sure as shoot, right before 6 a.m. my time, which has been 9 Ross's, SGN starts looking like, I'm watching the level 2 and I'm like, I feel like the bid was being held. It wasn't coming like way down from where it had come down. It did come down somewhat. And I put in my two-way OCO order. So one cancels the other OCO order, or excuse me, it's a linked order, it's a bracket order. And in Thinkorswim, you can put in a limit buy and you can put in your take profit order and have them, go together. So I had that all set up, queued up, ready to go. I looked at the charts. I said, okay, mental stop at 276, and I want to get in at 290. Was my let's get in here. And before I actually submit the order, because this has been working, I'm watching level 2. I'm not watching the chart anymore. The chart gets me to focus on the stock initially and look for that setup. And then kind of the go signal for me lately has been watch the level 2 and see what orders are going through. And I kind of remember seeing, the two 270s, 280s, and the 280s were holding. And I was like, oh, we're over 275, which is probably a resistance level because this is a low price stock. You might look at 225, 250, 275. And it was holding. So, I checked myself. I was like, how do I feel? And I was like, I don't care. Whatever. I'm going in. And there was one other thing today that was different, was Amy bumped herself up. She got a promotion. She's up to 10 shares per trade now. And this stock was great because it was just a $2 stock. So I wasn't worried that, oh my gosh, I get in, the candle wicks are, in a 1 minute candles are $2, $3, moving around. I didn't have that happening. So I felt confident jumping in with 10 shares versus my normal 2. As last several trades, it's been going well using this new strategy. I was like, promoted, going to 10. So we get in at 10 shares for 290, and immediately we're in the green. And it's funny, every single trade of these last, 5, every time I've been getting in at quote unquote the right time because it immediately goes green. And that's kind of Ross's thing too, is, if you get in and right away you're going down, it's probably the wrong time to get into the trade. So get in, get green. I'm watching the strength of the price action. At this point, I'm kind of moving my attention over to the chart and watching, what the candlesticks are doing. I'm looking at 10-second, 1 minute chart. And I initially had my take profit set for 325. And, I'm getting at 290. So I was like, this is ideal, would be great if it got there. It had already had a high day, I think 340 something, close to 350. And I'm like, it might be a stretch. And if it looks like it's having struggle to get there, I'm going to lower the take profit. So it's green. I'm in it. I see it tapping 3. Remember, I got in at 290. So I'm green, watching it tap 3. And it kind of looked like it was hitting resistance. Like the highest it would go was 304. And then it would come back down, 295, 296, 3, come back down. So I was like, you know what? I don't want this trade to turn against me, basically. I want to stay green. I'm green. I want to stay green. I want to get the bag and run, basically. And so I said, okay, let's bring it down to a slightly more reasonable level here. And I bring it from 325 down to 305, which, I kind of was like, that actually was kind of a big jump. I probably shouldn't have dropped it that much. But at any rate, I bring it down, and within seconds, ding, I'm out of the trade. So a 15-cent per share profit on that trade. I'm up $1.50. Whee, I was glad, it felt like the trade went well and everything. I go to look back at the chart, and within 10 seconds, the sucker hits my 325. And I'm like, this is the one area Amy needs to keep working on is, just have just a little bit more patience. I think sometimes I I get concerned if I feel like there's a resistance level, and I'd rather just get it and go. Now, granted, I could have done something else here that I thought in hindsight later to do, which was I could have just taken half off the table. That would have worked great. The only thing is with that situation is I would have had to click a couple of buttons because I'm in there with a sell limit order. I would have had to cancel, then change my buttons to 5 instead of 10, sell half, and then make sure. So there was kind of several steps involved with that. And I was just like, maybe not. So possibly in the future, I'm gonna look to see if there's just an easy way to move the sell limit, like if I have it for 10 shares, to just quickly tap something and maybe it goes down to 5, like some way to half that. It's when it executes on Thinkorswim, you can see it on your chart and you can like move it up and down. That's what I did to bring it down, just like a drag and drop kind of thing. But yeah, I think I might try to find, is there a way where I can just change the number or something like that, and then I would be still in for 5, and then I could sell that, whenever I felt like. That might have been the easier way to do this instead of beating myself up for selling it a little too soon, but it's all good. Yeah, so that was the trade, and I told myself in like my post notes, which soon, starting June, Amy's gonna be writing on her sheet here, actually. Nope, there. What went well, what to improve. So we know what to improve. I just talked about that. But I said, before that, I gave myself the pep talk of, I don't care. when I felt in this trade too, right before I got in, right before I hit the submit button on the linked order, I was feeling a little bit like the heart, start to speed up. I was like, you know what? I don't care. I don't care. Like, works, great. If it doesn't, I don't care. I know my risk. I know what I'm getting into. F it. I wasn't even like once I calmed myself down, I wasn't even concerned for a second that I was jumping from 2 shares to 10 shares. Psychologically, the last time I did that, I did actually feel a difference in my emotions. Even though it's such a small, thing when you're trading these low priced, low float stocks, that it really shouldn't affect you, but it did before. And I was just really happy, really glad, and really pleased with myself that today it did not affect me, because this way of trading where I'm in this calm, relaxed, I don't care, great if it works, who cares if it doesn't, peace of mind, that it's now allowing me to alter my share size, which is beautiful, because from here on out, just game on. Like I said this to my tribe yesterday. It's like, that I was going to be bumping myself up, and I was like, game on. Like I'm winning. And I get that it's, this is a streak, right? It's like, I don't expect to always be, every single trade's going to work out this way. But you take something that's working and you're like, okay, now we double down, right? So that's what we did, with the share size. Yeah, I just basically put, trusted my gut, kept myself green, waited for the best opportunity. Yeah, buddy. And I'm working on holding, winners longer, but I wanted to keep the profits on that trade. And I was pleased to see when I did import this trade into TraderView, which I'm just using the free version, by the way, guys. You can import your trades in ChatGPT, by the way, if you pay the $20 a month like I do. But in TraderView, it said my average hold time over these last 5 winning trading days has gone up to 2 minutes. Woohoo! Before that, I was only holding my wins for 1 minute was the average, and my losses were like 2 to 3 minutes. So I was pleased to see that. And of course, if I'm only looking at, these last couple of weeks or so, there was no losses to look at. Ah, nice. Okay, so let's look at the chart here. So this is our 1 minute chart. We've got my pink lines. We're well above all the indicators Amy likes to have on her chart: VWAP, 9 EMA, 20 EMA. And you can see my pink lines of where I entered down at the bottom of that green, and exiting, or excuse me, kind of got in on this, like this hammer deal right here. And then I'm getting out here. Now this candle, once it finally closed, that one tapped, I think it looks like a 340. I kind of remember it just going to like 320 something after I got out, but we learned the lesson here. Yeah, that is crazy that wicked so high, and then it came back down. But yeah, we can see, MACD was open. Yay. We had lots of green right here where Amy was getting in, or just before. And yeah, guys, I just, combination of all these things working, like I feel like, some people say you learn more from your losses than you do from your wins. And in some cases, yes, I agree with that statement. I have definitely, stacked up some losses in the past of these 6 months of trading. And I've put all that together, and said, okay, like what do I got to work on next, right? But having these wins, having these green days, back-to-back consecutives, I've seen a pattern. And then that pattern has shown me, okay, this is working, this is working, this is working. And now that to me feels like, okay, all those little losses and things where you're taking like small ideas of lessons and things you're learning, and you're sort of like puzzle pieces, like trying to put it together. Like, what does this mean? How can I use this? How can I get better? And then, when things actually start clicking, it's like, oh, now I got the box, right? Like I can see the picture of what I'm trying to put together, and I've got these pieces all over the place. Now I'm actually able to start putting the pieces together and build my puzzle and be like, oh, okay, this is what we focus on. Again, not expecting to be like this always and forever. I'm obviously on my, my green streak, and I'm just like, yay on me, because I'm following consistency here. It's not like these days have all been random. They've all been trading the criteria of stocks that I mentioned before. They've all been jumping in on my own entry and exit levels where I am looking, and let me reiterate this, where I'm getting in. I'm looking for the place on the stock where it looks like if I got in when it's up, where might I get stopped out? So I'm basically getting in every time on these stocks with a pullback. And, Ross calls them a micro pullback. So that's kind of the idea. It's like, okay, come up, come down, get in, as it's not turning against you, hopefully. That can always happen by all means. But it's like psychologically, somebody just brought this up that like, hey, wherever you think your stop should be, that should be your entry. Because 9 times out of 10 for me, when I tried to trade the other way where you're getting in as things are moving upwards quickly, the execution speed, my own slowness, it's getting me in at the top, way too top, and then it's coming back down. And you get that uncertainty as a newer trader where you're like, oh shoot, what if it never comes back up to where I got in? Now I'm negative, now I'm down, now I'm holding on to losers because I'm hoping it's gonna come back up. What's a better strategy? For me, I found that my own peace of mind and relaxed nature about let the price action come down to me, has allowed me to get into a trade at a better entry. Now, when it makes a move, which by watching the level 2, I feel like it's teaching me that time it's gonna move. Boom, like get in as you're feeling it. And it's not so much like psychic or anything like that. I'm using all this stuff that I've been learning about all these months, and I'm just putting it all together and like, here's the thing that I'm sticking to. And you kind of have to turn off the noise a little bit too, because I've talked about this before as well, where if you're listening to too many different people trying to teach you how to trade, you got chunks of this, do that. No, do this. Oh, use this indicator. Oh, no. Trade supply and demand. Trade, it's like, it's just too confusing. So that when you actually sit down to trade, you're like, I have no idea what to freaking do. And you get all confused and your head's all a mess and you get in a trade. You don't even know why you got in the trade. So anyways, guys, I hope that sharing what's been working for me these last 5 green trading days is of help to you. Feel free to try this on your own. I don't know that the results are gonna be the same, of course, but go with what feels right for you. Like for me, I really liked what Ross was teaching. I really got a lot of value out of the free videos on YouTube. And there was a part of me that just didn't resonate with the way he got in and out of trades, because I'm just like, I'm not there yet. I'm not confident enough to, I don't have the correct broker really to jump in and out like that. Like Thinkorswim is just not that fast. So I would be missing these moves, even if I'm watching him live, it's like I still be missing the moves because I'm not getting in as fast, nor am I getting out as fast. So anyways, guys, feel free, again, check out the links below, day trading resources, access free Telegram group, Amy's Trading Tribe down below. And if you want to check out the emotions tracker for traders, like I said, this is going to be starting, you'll get the full month of June. So you can start making your notes and stuff on June 1st, which is a Sunday, do your little weekly summary. And then you got every trading day will have a page like this where you can put in your emotions, track the trade, and then lastly, do your little wrap up there at the end. So link down below for that. And that's all I got for you. Take care. I'll see you on the next one.